In this Cardano update video, some reality for Cardano investors. We're going to look at the future and what it holds for Cardano and how it can build value for investors in the future, because the Vassal hard fork is here. It's going to happen. It will eventually roll out. But what is the future after that? This, I believe, is the absolute last time that Cardano investors can get excited about a technological upgrade to the blockchain. We hear that over and over again. Now is the time to build a business, and this will make or break the investment case for Cardano. So I'm going to go over some of that in this video. I'm also going to reference the recent Mark Cuban interview on Altcoin Daily. Really love that channel. I'm just going to play some clips from that and kind of give my own opinions on it. First off, take a look at this clip though from Mark Cuban.
My thoughts on Cardano are the exact same as they are on Polygon and Ethereum. Business walks and it's just, there's got to be a there. And you can go to Coin Metrics, you can go to all these different places and look for transactions. And I guess the people in Africa are not using it as much as they expected it. You don't see the transactions, you don't see the fees.
So this is an important point from a businessman, right? If you're in business, you're looking to invest in the ecosystems with the most users, the most transactions, and the most healthy economies. And Cardano objectively is being beaten out in that metric by other chains. And so we have to look at this objectively and say, Cardano needs to improve on this. And we know that the Vassal hard fork is coming, and that's great, but now is the time to deliver. Going after that with lending applications and who is building and who's paying fees. So just from an objective investor's standpoint, when you're looking to allocate money into these things, you're looking at Ethereum and saying, this is by far the dominant player. Not only ETH in terms of protocol fees, but look at Uniswap and Aave, which are Ethereum applications, top 3 coins that make money. So when you're an investor allocating capital, where are you going to put your money? You're going to put your money into things that are making profits. Then as we come down, you've got Binance Smart Chain. So again, this is what the 3rd biggest crypto taking out stable coins, and rightly so, because it makes protocol fees. Then you've just got, a bunch of other Ethereum applications. You even have Solana here, Trader Joe and Avalanche. You've got Avalanche and Polygon, both making more fees than Cardano, which is sitting right down here. Now, we know that Cardano is yet to launch some of the things that are actually making money for other protocols, but that's yet to come. Now, when you look at the valuation, you're saying, well, Avalanche is making more, Polygon is making more, but they're sitting below Cardano. So as an investor, you're looking at this and just saying, why is Cardano valued so highly? Well, maybe it's other things. Maybe it's the technology, maybe it's the decentralization, but eventually a protocol that isn't Bitcoin has to make fees, because that is the way that investors are over the long term going to value cryptocurrencies, is by the yield that they give. And so the way that you produce a yield is by having many users paying fees on the blockchain.
I just don't see where Cardano has had much of an impact at all. They got their smart contracts, a year ago, and that was going to be the inflection point. Inflect away, Cardano, I just have not seen it. Now, that doesn't mean, look, I talked about it for Ethereum. If the next great application that everybody wants to use is on Cardano and you have to buy ADA, go, that's great.
Yep, I do agree with this. And like I said at the start, this is the last technical upgrade that everyone in the Cardano ecosystem can hide behind, saying, yep, we're coming, we're upgrading. Now is the time to deliver profits, users, transactions. You can see the competition really making strides here. Polygon is interacting with the biggest businesses in the world. Meta, Stripe, which is one of the biggest payment providers, Adobe, Adidas, Prada. You also have eBay launching the first ever NFT on Polygon. And then recently, like today, they announced a partnership with Coca-Cola, which is going to launch NFTs on Polygon as well. This is big business, the world's biggest businesses building on Polygon. And this is, a identification of where those big businesses want to be, right? Because they have seen that the users are in the Ethereum ecosystem, Polygon's cheap, they can reach users. These businesses are only going to choose the blockchains where they think that they can have some sort of business use case for it. And so when we're looking at cryptos to invest in, Cardano has to be there as well, and it has to deliver some of these tie-ups as well, in my opinion. Looking at the Polygon proof of stake chain daily transactions, you're getting around 2 to 3 million a day, right? So it's come off a lot from the bull market when a lot of incentives were being paid and everything like that coming off, but they've settled around 2 to 3 million a day, which is really, really good. When we compare Cardano to this, you can see active addresses and transactions much lower. You're seeing transactions and payments around 250,000 a day, completely different blockchains. Cardano uses EUTXO, but you can look at the payments here to kind of try and compare between the two different blockchains. So Cardano just has fewer transactions. And so what I'm saying here is this is the last time where we can say we're waiting for an upgrade for something to happen. Now we do have to see the objective, fundamental metrics start ticking to the upside to really start building the value, for Cardano, considering it is a, top 5 blockchain without the stable coins.
I still think Doge has got more applications potentially available to it than Cardano. Now that'll be out there for sure, but that'll be your headline. But the opportunity for Cardano is greater until Doge really becomes a platform for applications.
Mark definitely went off on a tangent there, and you can tell he immediately kind of regretted what he said because even he realized it was crazy. Dogecoin is miles away from building a kind of reliable smart contracts blockchain. It's not even in the running. It's a joke. It's a meme. It's literally built as a joke, and it's not even credible in terms of the business use case for smart contract chains that Cardano is building. So what we'll look on though, I think this is a really great tweet thread from Patrick here, who's built an application on Cardano, NFT Maker. He's changed the name to I think NMKR or NMaker. Really good app, and it lets people kind of mint NFTs and stuff. I've used it before. It's actually really great to use. But I kind of want to read this through because it kind of proves kind of the point of what I'm saying here is that the technology is great, and now we, as an investor, we're looking at, okay, I think that's done now. So we need to now look at where are the users, who is the blockchain attracting, and can we hang our hat on some deals that are really big? So let's just read through this. For argument's sake, let's say you're not overly invested in any one blockchain ecosystem, you're completely agnostic. You'd have to consider so many different elements: development expenses, technical capabilities, tool sets, cross-chain capabilities, environmental impact, PR. Would you really be able to recommend them to build on Cardano at the moment? I personally believe it's very, very hard to recommend Cardano if you're not hardcore into the ecosystem. Recommending to build on Cardano is a risk. It doesn't have the support of other chains or the track record. It's much harder to build for. And that's the reason why the Cardano innovation is currently coming from inside the ecosystem. And he means IOG here, who objectively are building a ton of really great use cases for Cardano. But obviously, you want to attract other developers to build on top of Cardano as well. Working with Cardano is currently a higher effort risk for them than it has upside potential. Why would they waste their effort on learning about Plutus and EUTXO? What he's really talking about is kind of the competitors, right? Like Polygon or BNB or something like that. What we need to focus on in Cardano is the following: not replicating other chains. If we replicate what is going on other chains, we will always lose. Instead, we should create things that make us stand out from the crowd. When agencies are asked about which blockchains they recommend, they need to have a clear answer as to why Cardano. On the other hand, it's very easy to explain why people should choose, e.g. Ethereum, because it's the biggest, Solana, very fast transactions, Polygon, access to Ethereum, but less expensive. Cardano needs to be on the list with a clear reason why. Cardano, most secure chain. Patrick believes that that's not enough. I agree for the most part. I think Cardano has to be unique in its product offering. There's no point being an Ethereum alternative because one is not needed. Ethereum is its own thing, and you can say, well, transactions are expensive. That is not the case anymore. You have Arbitrum, Optimism, ZK Sync, which is, kind of half launched. You have Starknet, which is launching. You have Polygon as well with their ZK products and all their scaling technologies. So if Ethereum is cheap, you cannot be a cheap version of Ethereum. Luckily, though, the world is a very big place and there are many opportunities for other ecosystems to have, USP or a focus on one type of business use case. For Cardano, I believe this is emerging markets and going to places where, potentially other ecosystems just don't want to go because they want to kind of pick the low-hanging fruit. For me, as an investor, this is what I want to look for going forward to really support my investment. User growth has to come. So when lending protocols are there, we have to see users flocking in and putting money onto Cardano. Transaction growth is obviously important as well. That will tell us if, the users are actually growing on the blockchain. Fees paid, it's the same thing, right? User growth, transactions, and fees. If this is all growing, then fantastic. And this is what I want to look for. I also want to see like big businesses and brand names potentially come and use Cardano. I know there are some things happening with Cardano in terms of with Snoop Dogg and stuff. We need more of that, more big brands using Cardano. And then yields and incentives. So I'm going to show you this from Optimism. Optimism is a roll up on Ethereum, and up until now on Aave, its market was very, very small, but it's coming in with some token incentives here. And it's grown its market from kind of like 100 million to now 2 billion. Now, Cardano isn't going to do token incentives. It just doesn't work like that. But what you can see here is that there's a lot of competition out there to attract TVL to certain networks. And I know that Cardano is working on a yields and incentives program, and that this is possibly coming as the new lending protocols are being launched as well. But you need to attract people to your chain because this is a competition. And so any yield that can be got, people love yield. It's one of the main use cases of lending applications. And so can you have a sustainable yield that is going to be competitive? These are all the things that I'm looking at. These are the real metrics that investors are going to look at over the long term, not anything else. And so that is what I'm looking at with Cardano and every other chain that I do a competitive analysis with. If you do want to know more about how I analyze all of these crypto projects and how to kind of fundamentally value these things, all of that is in my Crypto Investor course. I'll leave that linked in the description. You can check out all of what's included in that, which is a lot. I'm James, this is MoneyCG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.